Okay, it just records my screen, so no one needs to worry. Okay, come and have a seat. All the way down, cross your legs, and then just get comfortable. So have a bit of a wriggle around, and then relax through the shoulders, through the hands, close the eyes, and just lift the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Let the eyes settle, or if you'd rather not close the eyes, just look down towards the floor. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Welcome to practice this morning, especially if I haven't met you or taught you virtually before. So thanks for being here. And those that normally come on a Monday morning, I hope you appreciated the half an hour lie-in. Big breaths. So you're trying to expand the rib cage as you inhale. And then feel the rib cage soften as you exhale. So this motion of trying to breathe in and let the rib cage expand. And then as you breathe out, feel the rib cage move back down and in. So inhale, let it expand. Exhale, back down. Inhale, let it expand. Exhale. 3 more there. Breathe in. And out. Breathe in. And out. Third and final breath here. Exhale. And then breathing in and out through the nose for the most part. Just take your right fingertips out to the side, reach the left arm up, stretch up towards the ceiling, and just take a side body stretch. So just open that left side of the waist. Try and push your left seat bone down. So as you stretch over, you're trying to really anchor through that left side. And then bring it back. Just go the other way. Take the left hand down, reach the right arm up, and then side bend over to the left. So you're really trying to push into that right side and reach up and over through the right fingertips. And then come back up to center. Take hold of the outside of the thighs, plant the feet to the floor. So they're about hip width apart. Now, if you have a small ball, we're going to use it in a minute, but I'll give you options all the way through. So hold on to your shins, lift the spine tall, my elbows are out nice and wide. And as you exhale, really pull the spine in and round through the back. So inhale, lift through the chest, collarbones wide, elbows out to the side, spine tall. Exhale, pull the waist in and really round. 3 more, inhale, lift. Exhale, tuck the tailbone, pull the abdominals in, round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pull in and round. Keep going if you don't have a ball. If you have a ball, you can bring that and place it to the lower back, right in next to the tailbone. Inhale, lift. Exhale, almost push into that ball. Inhale, lift. And exhale, push. And then with or without the ball, you can now use the arms. So inhale, lift. Take the arms up to the sky, straighten and open through the shoulders. Exhale, round. Point the fingers to the bottom of the mat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, you are really trying to squash that ball if you have it, or you're pulling the waist in if you don't. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round. We go for 2 more. Exhale. 1 more. And then we're going to hold it in that rounded shape. So with or without the ball, extend the right leg off. So if you have the ball, you're able to squash back into that ball. If you don't have a ball, you're just using the abdominals to hold you there. Point the right toes down. Don't let them touch the floor. And then use the abdominals to lift that leg back up. So you lower and then pulling in through the waist to lift. 5. Lift. Pull navel to spine. Lower. And lift. Just soften the shoulders slightly. Lift. 2. And lift. Last one. and lift. Then bend the right knee, plant the foot down, point the left toes, extend, breathe in, navel to spine, lower. And then you're almost using the abdominals to pull back in, almost like you have a string here attached from the belly to the thigh, and it shortens as you bring that in. So we take it down, and then you're pulling in. 3, lift, 2, lift, last one, and lift. Then plant that foot down, just come off the ball if you have it, and if you have one, bring it between the thighs. If you don't, just have, someone's just coming in, hang on. If you don't, just have your knees squeezed together. Oh, lost them now. Knees squeezed together and feet together. It's up to you. You're holding there. Pull the waist in and slowly roll down. So one vertebrae of the spine comes to the floor at a time, really super slow. If you don't have a ball, you're just squeezing the knees together. Take the arms overhead, big breath. You might need to use some momentum. Exhale, lift yourself back up. Trying to roll slow, so squeezing the ball or squeezing the knees, pulling the waist in, slowly rolling down. Inhale, take the arms overhead, and then exhale, lift back up in the same way you came down, but maybe with a bit of momentum. If you need the assistance, roll it down. Waist pulls in, one vertebrae at a time, rolling into the yoga mats. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, lift it back up. Inhale at the top. Exhale, pull the waist in, roll it back down. Just one more up and down, big breath. And then lift all the way up. And we'll all roll down, make this your slowest for 10, 9, pull the waist in, 8, 7, squeeze the ball or squeeze the knees, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take the arms overhead, big breath. And then if you have a ball, just take that out to the side. Stretch the arms and stretch the legs. So you have one long line. Reach the hands back, point the toes. And then bring the knees into tabletop. Take the hands to the back of the head. Lift the head, neck, shoulders. Try and keep the elbows wide, so try not to squash the head. Pull the waist in. Right toes tap the floor. Come back just the right side. Tap. Come back. Tap. Come back. Trying to keep that left knee as still as possible. Lift the shoulders a little bit higher. 3, 2, 1. Bring it in and switch to the left. 8. Bring it back. Just notice if you're bringing them back to the same place or whether you're using a bit too much speed and bringing that in too far. So you kind of want them to come to the same imaginary line. 3. Waist pulls in, lower back pushes to the floor. 1. Rest the feet, rest the head. Take the arms down by the side. Tuck the tailbone and roll your hips up off the floor. So you're rolling up into your first glute bridge. So push down into the feet and think about this one long straight line from your shoulders to your hips to your knees. Squeeze the glutes. Pull the waist in. From here, rise to the balls of the feet. And then as slowly as you can, roll the spine down to the floor. Pull in through the waist. Really slowly massaging the spine all the way down. At the very bottom of that movement, when the hips rest, plant the heels down, drive back up in one motion to the balls of the feet. Roll down through the spine, really controlled on the roll down. Slowly as you can, when the hips rest, heels rest, drive back up. So it's this almost circular motion, balls of the feet, roll through the spine. And then at the bottom, you rest the hips, rest the heels, drive back up to the balls of the feet. Lower. 2 more after this one. So just keep going. You find your own pace. At the bottom, the heels rest. You drive back up. 2. Roll and lower down. As slowly and as carefully as you can. Rest the heels. Last one. And roll, pulling the waist in. And then rest. Rest the heels. Extend both legs up to the sky. Knees can be a bit soft, so you don't have to force the legs straight. Take the hands to the back of the head and lift the head, neck, shoulders. Right leg away, hover it just off the floor. So you're trying to stretch that right leg away and then bring it back in. Take the left leg away. So really try and reach through that left side and then lift it back up to the right and lift it back. Left and lift it back. Remember when we did that first exercise where we were lifting and lowering the leg? Think about when you lift back in, pulling the abdominals to lift it back. So you take the leg down and then it's the abdominals that lift back in. So you lower, navel to spine, lift the leg. We go for 6. Lift, keep the shoulders up. 5, lift, pull in through the waist. 4, 3, long lines. 2, and last one. And then rest the head down, bring the knees to the chest and just give a gentle rock. Good stuff. And then place the feet to the floor, arms back down again. Roll the hips up so you're just coming to a strong, stable glute bridge. So think about the height of both hips, not swaying over to one side or the other. And then you're going to engage the glutes. So turn the glutes on, squeeze the back of the hips. Now think about all your weight and strength going down through that left foot. Can you keep the right hip still, but lift the right knee into the chest? Slowly on the transitions, so carefully step your right foot down. Keep both hips high, transfer the weight to the right foot, lift the left knee in. So you have to take a moment when you swap over to really stabilize. Weight into the left, lift through the right. So don't rush. If you rush, you'll find that the hips start to sway from side to side. So you want to imagine that you're keeping the torso, or you're trying your best to keep your torso super still. 4, lower. 3, lower. 2, lower. Last one. Lower. Roll the spine back down. Knees back into tabletop. One more abdominal exercise here and then we'll move on. So hands to the back of the head. Lift the head, neck, shoulders. So right now your ankles and your knees are touching. Keep the knees together. Just open the feet. Close the feet. Just open the knees. Close the knees. Open the feet. So you're always making this V shape. Close the feet. Open the knees. Lift up higher with the chest. 6. Lift higher. Pull the waist in. 5. Keep going nice and slow. 4. Keep breathing. 3. That's the most important part. Keep lifting. 2. Last one. And then hug the knees into the chest. Cross one shin over the other and rock yourself all the way up over to all fours. So hands and knees. Just take a couple of rounds of cat-cow. So stretch through the front of the body. That should feel quite a nice strong stretch. Exhale, arch and round. Inhale, take it forwards, pull the shoulders back. Exhale, arch and round. 2 more in this forward back motion. So you'll look forward, stretch open. Exhale, arch and round, strong through the waist. Inhale, look forwards. Exhale, arch and round and hold it there. So maintain that big lift through the upper back. And then now I want you to draw circles. So you can let the elbows bend and really try and get into the side of the body. So can you feel the stretch through the ribs, around the hips and the shoulders? Don't be afraid to move through the neck as well. So really try and mobilize all the way from the top of the spine to the bottom of the spine and everything in between. As much movement as you can. And you might kind of move back and forwards a little. Doesn't have to be uniform, doesn't have to look perfect. And then pause. Swing it the other way. Just making sure you're creating as much space as you can. So no 2 movements have to be the same. You're just trying to roll and mobilize and move. Back to stillness. Settle there, so hopefully feel like there's plenty of length and space through the waist. Tuck the toes and just lift the knees off the floor. So you're just holding yourself in this tabletop position, but the knees are off the ground. Really pull the lower abdominals in. Try and pull the abdominals away from the waistband of your trousers or your shorts. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stretch back into a downward facing dog. Just take a moment to lengthen through the backs of the legs. Push into the hands. Really stretch open through the shoulders. Take a nice big breath. And exhale. Rest back to both knees. So both hands, both knees. Take your left hand in front of you, little finger to the floor, and stretch your right toes back. As you inhale, lift the hand and lift the foot. Keep the arm and the leg long. Exhale, lower. Pull the waist in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Try not to lift so much you go arching into the back. Try and keep things quite flat through the spine. So you lift, you've got one long line parallel to the floor, and then lower. Lift to parallel, and then lower. 5. So you're just looking down to the space by the right hand, so the back of the neck is neutral. You're not creasing or adding tension there. 3, 2, 1. Keep the right leg lifted, bring the left hand down. So pushing into both hands, strong through the left knee. Bring your right knee towards the right tricep, and then with the heel, kick away. Make sure it is a kick, you're not pointing back. Right knee, right tricep. With the heel, kick away. Right knee, right tricep. With the heel, kick back. Just go for 3. Kick back. 4. Kick. 3. Kick. 2. Kick. Last one, kick and hold. So keep it there. Lower to your forearms. And once you lower, just check you haven't dropped. Keep pushing into the back of the shoulders. Now you can point the toes. Lift that right leg a bit higher. And then lower down, toes tap the floor. Inhale, lift all the way up. Engage the glute at the top. So engage the back of the hip. And lower down. Lift, hold, find that engagement. And then lower. It might mean you lift up to the top, and then to actually find that engagement, you go a tiny bit higher and lower. 5, lower. 4, lower. 3, lower. 2, lower. Last one, hold. Now with the toes pointing, you're going to start to draw circles about the size of a small plate. 8, 7, that movement's coming from the right hip. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it, go the other way. 8, 7, keep stretching the toes back. 6, stick with it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it, rise up to your hands. I know that's strong now. Take the left arm forwards, inhale. Exhale, round and pull in. Inhale, reach. Exhale, round and pull in. Inhale, reach. Round and pull in. For 3, longest stretch. Bring it in. 2. Bring it in. Last one. And place it down. Tuck the toes. Take a nice big stretch. Lift the hips up to the sky. Relax the weight of the head. And you've got 3 breaths here. So really push into the hands. Really try and lift the hips. And stretch the heels away. Before we take it to the other side, have a bit of a pedal through the feet. And then rest to your knees. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Take your right arm out in front of you. Stretch the left leg back. That's where we start. Pointing the toes back. Pull in through the waist. Lower down and lift. 2 parallel. Lower down and lift. Lower and lift. Reaching as you do so. Lower and lift. 5. Lift. Waist in. Lift. 3. 2. You're lifting and holding on this last one. Now keep the left leg there. You can bring the right hand down. Left knee comes to tap the left tricep or close as you can. And then the heel kicks back. So knee to tricep. Heel kicks back. Knee to tricep. Heel kicks back. You want to find that kick at the top of the movement. And when you do, you'll feel it in the back of the leg, the back of the hip. 4, 3, 2, 1, and hold again. So you're driving that heel back. Now slowly lower to your forearms. And then change that so you're pointing the toes. Lift the left leg higher. So find that strength in the back of your left hip. And then lower. And lift. Squeeze at the top. Lower. And lift. Just notice if your weight is a bit unbalanced through the shoulders. See if you can make it equal left to right. Go for 5. Reach back. 4. Reach back. 3. Stretch. 2. Stretch. Last one. Hold it lifted. You've got 8 circles in each direction, so don't rush them. Make it slow. Stretching the toes back as you draw those circles. As slowly and controlled as you can. 4, 3, 2, 1, pause, 8 the other way, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Rise up to the hands. Last bit, so left leg is stretching back, right arm reaches forwards, inhale. Exhale, round and pull in. Curl the upper back. Inhale, reach. Really round and pull in, navel to spine. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull in. Inhale, reach. Exhale, pull in. 3. And pull in. Reach further forward, stretch further back and pull in. Last one. And in. Hand down, knee down, tuck the toes, stretch back. Shake out the back of the head and the neck. Just make sure you aren't clenching the teeth. You're not gripping the tongue to the roof of the mouth. There's no unnecessary tension there. Pull the waist in, support the lower back. And then slowly walk your hands and your feet together. So you can be in the middle of the mat, just folding the body forwards. And actually bend the knees so you have somewhere to rest. You can see I'm resting the upper body. I'm not having to carry my upper body weight. Head is dropped down. So really do try and lengthen the back of the neck. Try not to look forwards and crease or bring tension into the back of the neck. Now push into the feet. Really super slow. Roll up to standing, curling through the spine, pulling in through the waist. Really slow. Take your time. Arms hang heavy by the side. Interlace the hands behind the lower back. Reach them back away. Open the chest, look forwards. And then exhale, let that stretch go. Arms down by the side. Chin to chest, slowly curl. As slowly as you can. Taking the body weight forwards, pulling in through the waist. Hands all the way down towards the feet. And rest. And then slowly bring it back up. Pulling in. Taking your time. Really nice and slow. And then again, at the top of that movement, take your hands behind your back. Open your chest. And then this time, step the feet a bit wider. So they're just on the inside of your yoga mat. Bend the knees and fold forwards whilst you're stretching the hands back. So you're looking to the back of the room. Again, that idea of keeping a nice long neck. Lift the hands, lift the hips. If you feel quite warm in the hamstrings and you want to challenge yourself, then try and work the legs towards straight. They don't have to get there, but just have the intention of lifting the hips. And then slowly, hands come down to the floor and just bring your knees down. And you want to have space out to your side. So we're going to rise up and either come long ways on your mat or go out to the side. If you have a circle, grab it. You don't need one. I'll give you both options. Take your right leg out. If you have a circle, you're going to hold it up to the sky with long fingers. So avoid clenching it. Hold it long. If you don't have one, exactly the same, but without a circle. Squeeze your glutes so you don't let the hips drop back. You keep the hips as far forwards as you can. Now slowly lean to the left until you find this long straight line through the right, and it's that right side waist that's going to lift you back up. So as you go down, this right side body lengthens, and then as you come back up, you shorten. So it's all this right side. Lengthen, and then shorten. 5. Bring it back. 4. Bring it back. 3. Bring it back. 2. Shorten as you lift. Last one, we're holding here. 5. Reach your hands further away. 4. 3. Stretch. 2. And 1. Lift back up. And just switch. Right knee, left leg. So reach out through that left side. Arms up to the sky, with or without a circle. Waist pulls in and just avoid, let the hips drop back. And the other thing to watch is that the arms don't creep forward. So keep the hands, the arms lifting up to the ceiling. Lean to the right. Long line of tension through that left side. And then shorten as you bring it back up. So stretch and lengthen. And then shorten as you lift back up. Lengthen. And then shorten. So really with that intention of working the waist. Lift. 5. And lift. Use the waist. 4. And lift. 3. And lift. 2. And lift. Last one, hold it. Reach further away, so let the arms grow longer. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift back up. Bring the hands down or drop your circle out to the side. Bring the left knee in. All fours again. Just have a nice stretch through the front of the chest. Arch and round through the back. And then tuck your toes. Lift back into downward facing dog. Long stretch through the heels, high through the hips. And bring yourself forwards to a plank position. Everyone rest the knees. Pull the waist in, tuck the tailbone. If you're super strong and you can do your push-ups with your knees lifted, then congratulations, you go for it. But I'm going to stay on my knees, so you're very welcome to. Slowly lower just halfway. And then push back up. But when you push back up, think about pushing the floor away from you. So lower down, push all your effort into the floor. Lower down, push everything away. 2 more, lower, and push. Last one, and push. And then just sit back, walk your hands in. Take the arms up to the sky, interlace, make a fist. Side bend, stretch to the right. And back to center. Side bend, stretch to the left. Back to center, hands behind the back. Interlace the fingers, reach back, open across the chest. Squeeze the shoulders back and down. And then release and come and lie all the way onto your front. So rest the chest down to the floor, legs squeeze together to start with. So engage from the feet to the knees to the inner thighs. You can rest your forehead for a moment, but if I do, you won't be able to hear me. So you keep your forehead rested and your hands are just beneath your shoulders. Squeeze through the inner thighs. Upper body stays down. Just lift your feet. Squeezing the inner thighs, squeezing the glutes, forehead to the floor. Lift the feet higher for 3. Make sure you're breathing for 2. And 1. Slowly lower the feet down. Now the feet stay down. Just lift the chest. Pull the shoulders back. Take the hands off the floor. Hold yourself there. Using your shoulders, using your back. And then rest. Now, lift the feet and lift the hands and lift the chest. Squeeze the shoulders, squeeze the inner thighs. Reach your left arm out as high as you can and bring it back. Right arm up as high as you can and bring it back. Once more each side, stretch and bring it back. Stretch and bring it back. Rest. Make a pillow with the hands and just place the forehead down. Sway the hips from side to side. Just rocking, moving through the lower body. Big breath. And let it go. Then widen your feet. So now my toes are pointing just past the far corners of my yoga mat. And I'm going to bend my knees and bring the heels together. So I have this V shape through my feet, and I'm going to keep that connection through the heels. Now, whilst you're led there with the forehead down, squeeze the heels and feel the glutes engage. So I'm not going anywhere just yet. We're just squeezing the heels and feeling the glutes squeeze at the same time. Now bring the hands to the shoulders, underneath the shoulders. Lift the chest, just slightly, pull the shoulders back and hover the hands off the floor. Now keep that squeeze of the heels. Can you lift the thighs? So that should bring it stronger into the glutes. Squeezing the heels, lifting the feet, lift the chest, squeeze the heels, lift the feet, lift the chest for 3. Don't hold your breath for 2. And 1. Slowly come back into a child's pose stretch. So take your hips all the way to the back of the mat. Stretch, let the forehead come down. You're there for 5 big breaths in and out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. 1 more. And then rise 2 or 4s. Take your right foot forwards. So you have left knee down, right foot forwards. So there's a chance to just stretch out through that left hip. So reach the arms up to the sky and then just take that left hip forwards, long stretch. Try and tuck the tailbone at the same time and pull in through the waist. And then back off from the intensity of that stretch. Take the hands to the side of the head. We're going to try and bring that left elbow to the right knee. But as you do it, I really want you to think about pulling in through the waist and almost rounding forwards. So inhale, open across the chest, pull the elbows back. Exhale, pull the waist in and round that left elbow to the right knee. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale, round and bring that forwards. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round and bring that forwards. Really slow and controlled. Inhale, lift. Exhale, round and bring that forwards. Inhale, lift, stay there. Reach the arms up to the sky. Take your right elbow onto your right thigh and just side bend stretch. So long stretch through that left side of the body. At the same time, maybe move forwards into that left hip. And then slowly back off. Just change your feet. So right knee comes back, left foot comes forwards, lift up, pull the waist in. Start by just reaching up and going into that hip. So chance to open through the right thigh, pulling the waist in, tucking the tailbone and stretching into that right hip. And then back off, hands to the back of the head. Inhale, open the chest space. Exhale, round and come forwards. Make sure you're pulling in to round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pull into round. Inhale, lift. Exhale, pull into round. I've not instructed this today, but if you want, you can always lift that back knee to make it harder so you're in a lunge position. Pulling in. 2. Round in as you exhale. Last 1. And round in. Lift, lift, and then left elbow, right arm reaches over so you have a big side bend stretch. And then you can keep just a side bend, or you can move forwards into that right hip as well. So you get the front of the thigh. Stretch your fingertips to the left side of the room. And then slowly come back up. Come and lie down on your right hand side to start with. So right arm all the way overhead, and line yourself up with the back of the mat so you have one super long line. Rest the head down. Just take that left hand and check there's a little bit of space beneath that right side waist so you're not totally collapsed in that right side. And then left hand offers some support. Ankles squeeze together. Lift both feet off the floor and then lower. Lift, you're using that left side waist and lower. 3 and lower. 2 and lower. 1 and hold. Keep the right foot off the floor. Just the left leg lifts and then it comes back to meet the right foot. 1, just 5. 2, really using that left side waist. 3, 4, 5. Rest. Bend both knees. Bring them straight out in front of you so you have 90 degrees between the belly and the thigh, and then 90 degrees at the back of the knees. Take your left hand to the left hip. Relax your left foot. So try not to be super active through that foot. Let it relax. Lift the whole left leg. Shin stays parallel and then lower. Lift and lower. And just make sure that when you do lift, you're not throwing that top hip back. So it's not too big a movement. It's in the front of the body. So we could have a wall right behind us and it wouldn't make any difference. We wouldn't be rocking back into that wall. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it at that height. Now you're going to let the knees tap together and then the toes tap. Knees tap, toes tap. Notice that left foot is still really relaxed. I'm not stressed through that left ankle because I want all the movement to come from the left hip. All the tension, all the stress wants to be in that left hip, not down to the left ankle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rest. Bring the left hand in front of you. Stretch the left leg to the bottom of the mat. So as that leg stretches away, you have a chance to open through that left hip. And then you're going to lift the left foot off the floor and lower bit down, but don't let it touch. So lift, lower, but don't let it touch. Lift and lower. So as you can see, it's actually going lower than the line of my hip. So it's more work to lift it back up. Lower and lift. So all around that left hip should be working. 3, lift, 2, lift, last one, lift, bend the knee, bring it back on front, on top of the right leg. And then last exercise here. So you're going to lift that top leg and kick the heel away. Keep it that high. Drive it back. Point the toes. Bring it forwards. Heel. Drive it back. Point the toes. Bring it forward. So you're almost pivoting at that top hip. Drive back. Bring it forwards. Just 2 more. Because if your hip's feeling it as much as mine, that's all I can take. And then bring it forwards. Rest. Bring that left leg into the chest. Take your right arm to the right side of the room, and then lean the upper body back. So you get a good twist around that top hip. Breathe in and breathe out. Nearly there. Breathe in and breathe out. 2 more. Exhale. 1 more. Exhale. Slowly just come to all fours, just a little exercise before we go to the other side. Otherwise, you'll still be feeling that left hip. So from all fours, tuck the toes, lift back and up into downward facing dog. And all we're going to do is pull the waist in, bring it forwards to a plank. Lift the right toes, lower. Lift the left toes, lower. Back to downward facing dog. Twice more. Forwards to a plank. Lift the right toes, lower. Lift the left toes, lower. Take it back. Last one, bring it forwards. Lift the right toes, lower. Lift the left toes, lower. Bring the knees down and come and lie onto your left hand side. So line up with the very back of the mat. So stretch your body long. One long straight line. And start with the ankles, the knees squeezing together. Just take that right hand and check there's a little bit of space. It needs to be the tiniest amount of space just underneath that hip. Lift both legs together. Lower. 4. Lower. 3. So using that top side waist. Both legs moving together, slow. Last one, hold. 5. Lower, keep that bottom leg off the floor. 4. Lower, slow it down. Can't see because I can't see names, but someone's leg's going very high. So try not to take it as high and control that lift. And lower. 2. Lower. Last one. Lower and rest. Then bend both knees to 90 degrees. So the shins should then run parallel with the front of the mat. Take your right hand to the right hip. That top right foot is relaxed. Lift the right shin and lower. It doesn't need to be a big movement. Lift the shin and lower. So not going back into this hip, movement just comes through the front of the body. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. The slower you take those movements, I promise, the more you'll feel it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. And then your right knees come together. Your right knee tap, 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 tap. So all the movements coming from that right hip. Keep the foot relaxed. 7, 6, 5. Smooth movement, don't rush. 4. I know it gets tempting near the end. 3, 2, 1. Just rest that top leg and then stretch it to the bottom of the mat. So you have this moment to kind of lengthen through that right hip and stretch it out. Bring your right hand in front for support. Lift that right leg, doesn't have to go high. And then lower it, but don't let it touch the floor. Lift and lower. Strength all the way around that right hip. So we lift and lower. Lift nice and slow and then lower. Lift and lower. 3, 2, 1. And slowly rest that in. Ready for the last exercise. So you're going to lift,
Kick away. There's only 5. Drive that heel away. Keep it high. Point the toes. Bring it back. 1. And 2. Nice and controlled. Keep it high. 3. 4. And 5. Rest. Bring that top knee to rest and then all the way in and let it settle there. Take your left arm, reach for the left side of the room, and then you can lie that right arm back. And in doing so, you should get a good stretch around that top waist, that top hip. Breathe in and breathe out. Good work. 2. Exhale. 1. Exhale. From where you are, just shimmy over onto your back. So lie onto your back and bring both knees into the chest. So you can just have a rock from side to side. And then take the knees a little bit wider than the body. Kick your feet to the sky and either reach for the ankles, happy baby, or the soles of the feet. It depends how mobile you are in the backs of the legs. Give that a bit of a rock and move around. You might bend one knee and then bend the other. And then come to stillness. Maybe if you feel like it, stretch the heels up to the sky so you get a good hamstring stretch. You're very welcome to keep the knees bent. Breathing here, lifting the heels up and away. And then slowly place the feet down to the floor. Just let the knees fall out to the side for a moment and take the arms overhead and hold opposite elbows. So you have this moment to open through the hips and through the shoulders. Big, deep breaths. And with those breaths, really try and move the rib cage. So really try and find lift. Take that movement all the way down into the belly. One more. Exhale. Take the hands round, reach for the side of the thighs. Slowly close that gap between the legs and pull the knees into the chest. Cross one shin over the other, and with a bit of momentum, just rock all the way up. With the legs crossed, sit nice and tall. If it's not comfortable to cross your legs, then sit kneeling or stretch the legs out. Place the hands on the knees. Take a big breath, holding onto the knees, looking up towards the ceiling. Pull the shoulders back, and then exhale, arch and round. Inhale, lift all the way up with the chest, pull the shoulders back. Exhale, arch and round. You've got one more, lifting all the way up. So really draw the shoulders back. Last chance to strengthen through the back of the shoulders. And then exhale, last chance to really stretch it out. And then sit with a neutral spine somewhere between those two. Close the eyes. And maybe just flip the hands so the palms face up and you really do take any tension out of the palms, out of the wrists, away from the elbows, the shoulders. Lift the crown of the head slightly taller. Feel the shoulders draw back. Feel the collarbones open, pulling in around this waist. Almost like you've got this corset of strength that you've built and you're pulling that corset in to support around the lower back. Take a big inhale. And a big exhale. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. And then bring your hands into prayer heart center. Thank yourself for starting your Monday morning, your bank holiday Monday, with such a toasty practice. Thank you for joining me.